I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with the cattle market summary for the week ending December the 18th, where we had a very strange pre-holiday week here. Everything continued down sharply all through the first part of the week, only to come back on Friday with everything limit up, and just the crazy volatility of the board and the cash market, and everybody involved is still just a slave to that. But your live cattle on Friday were all the quoted contracts were up the $3 limit. December ended the week at 120.15, which was still down $1.30 for the week because it had been down hard all week. Feeder cattle, all the quoted months were up the 450 limit there, and January contract ended at 148.75, which was still down $3.37 for the week. Your CME feeder cattle index, the last quoted there on light volume was 154.52. Real-time index on Cattle Market Central is at 147.49. That could be really volatile too for the next couple of weeks, because there's going to be very few cattle traded either in the sale barns or on a direct trade basis. So any sales that they have, which those that are being held, will probably be some kind of a special. And with that board being up the limit there on Friday, it could really make that volatile with not much sales volume going in that quote there. But might keep an eye on that. Fat cattle trade for the week, not a whole lot of trade, but just had a little sprinkling of trade every day throughout the week. Most live sales were 115 to 118, 117 and 118 in the Southern Plains. Iowa was as low as 113 at one point during the week. No trade on Friday after the board was so much stronger, because packers weren't about to come out and give more for cattle after they'd been buying them progressively cheaper all through the week. Your Northern Plains dress trade was from 183 to 184, which you figure that back on some low dressing percentages makes that towards the bottom of that live range. The reason we had that spark on Friday, on our last visit we said it might go back up for no more reason than it's gone down. But I think we just got to the point where we've got so low with what fundamentals we had. It's time to run that thing up. There's more room for it to go up now than there is down, which hasn't been the case for several years here. But we did see on Thursday your actual carcass weights on steers for your actual slaughter had dropped 10 pounds to 913 pounds, which we've been saying if we can get those big cattle moved on, that we might be able to get a little more support in the market, and we did. Also, this past week we did have a pretty decent slaughter. 590,000 for the week, which was the biggest slaughter we've had in well over a year right here pre-holiday, compared to 581,000 last week and just 553,000 a year ago this week. So it does show to be pretty strong on the slaughter there. Your cash feeders in the sale barns were mostly wheat to $5 lower if you compared them evenly to the bulk of last week's trade. Now, if you got them early in the week where we didn't have all of the weakness that we saw last week, then they might have been a little more than that. But if you compare the bulk of the trade to the bulk of this week's trade, it was wheat to $5 lower. Down in the southeast, it was a little bit more because they didn't get all that loss last week. So southeastern markets were $5 to as much as $12 lower. Cattle on feed report come out on Friday and was really bullish, but we can't say that that was responsible for any of the board, because that come out after the board was closed for the week. But maybe a pamphlet or an envelope got passed on, like that old show Trading Places in the orange juice market there. So maybe it slipped out, but it really didn't. If you ever been up there where they put that together, there's no way for that to get out. But maybe some people were really got to studying that and thinking it was going to be more bullish than what the average of the analyst guess was. But your on-feed numbers as of December the 1st come out with actual numbers right near 100%, actually 99.8%. Your estimates were about 1% more than that, so that was bullish. Your placements were the real bullish factor there. Your actuals come out at 89.2. Your estimates of guesses were at 95.7 placed during the month of November. So that was very bullish. And then marketings, which you would think that they never would miss, because we know exactly how many cattle are slaughtered every day. But marketings were 103.9 and the estimate of guesses was 103 even. So very bullish report. Whether or not we can keep this spark, we get to feeling our oats a little bit. We have 8 or 10 days down hard in a row and then one day limit up, and we think this thing's going to get better. There's no way to know what's going to happen there, but the holidays will be a good time for that to happen, because there's not a lot going on fundamentally. Going to be very few auctions held. Southeast will be closed down completely for the next 2 weeks. Joplin's got a sale on Monday. There'll be a few other sales on Monday, and then nothing until next week, till after Christmas is over. New Year's doesn't shut them down too bad, especially in the northern plains. But look at Cattle Market Central on some auctions there, some live quotes there real time. Lexington, Nebraska at 1:35 on Friday afternoon. So we knew that the board was up strong. They had a string of 125 steers, weighed 716, bring 172.50. But down the road at Burwell, Nebraska, later in the afternoon on some calves, and we expect some really high prices. Normally Burwell is some of the highest markets in the country, but they had about a half a load of steers, 51 steers, weighed 564, bring 188.50, and that was indicative of what the market was there mid to late week before we saw any spark. But on the road here for the holidays, but that's it for the cattle market summary for this week. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.